Hello, my name is Ned Kelly. Welcome to the Buddha Brunch. Today, we're going to be talking about prosperity consciousness, possible push and pull against materialism in that discussion, and we'll see where Divine Mind leads us in today's discussion. With this beautiful, incredible, creative person named Heather Wilson. Boy, does she wear a lot of hats and take on a lot of different roles. She's an artist on so many levels: photography, writing, singing, songwriting, acting, henna. I'm gonna ask her to henna my head later. I've seen she's done some baby bumps.
Baby belly blessings. Yep.
Maybe you could have
I haven't done a shaved head yet.
A Ned head henna.
Ned head henna. I like it.
So stay tuned. We're gonna be talking about prosperity consciousness and God knows what today. Well, why don't we start? How about you tell us the story of the Mustang?
A couple weeks ago I had a 2017 Mustang convertible that I got to drive for a couple days. Originally I had gone to Ford to have my vehicle serviced there, and they needed to replace a clutch in my car, and it was like a warranty thing, so they gave me a courtesy car, and I asked them if they were fresh out of Ferraris, and they're like, yeah we are. So I'm like, all right, I'll take that Mustang over there, and they're like, okay. I am looking for a new vehicle, so it was perfect to kind of get my feet wet and see what I like and what I don't like, and just to try out a different car that I wouldn't normally have chosen, because that was just way more car than I needed. But I'm like, well, why not? Maybe I'll like it. And so it was just fun to have something brand new, because I had my vehicle for 10 years. Instantly it energized me, and I'm not a materialistic person, so it was really interesting how just it shot my worth up, because I'm like, yeah, I could have a car like this. Why have I thought such limiting thoughts that I don't deserve nice things? That I guess because I'm spiritual, I felt like I need to live minimally, and I can't have like brand new things that'll make me look superficial. Really, mostly my confidence just like shot through the roof, and it reminded me of how I used to feel years ago.
Did you surprise yourself in how much you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I did surprise myself in how much I enjoyed it. It brought out this childlike nature in me, and I just was driving around, and I just be like, woo! Just screaming out the window, and I felt like I was 16, and it was my first time ever driving. It was so fun. The car had a lot of power, so I was racing people and just felt really abundant and on top of the world.
Describe that conflict between prosperity consciousness and being spiritual.
I did have a lot of conflict of, I'm really enjoying this experience, but I shouldn't have to have a vehicle to bring this to bring me back home within myself. And but I realized that it's just in life, we just have these catalysts or these triggers or these things that just evoke that and ignite that in us, those parts of us that we've forgotten. And so it was just like a part of myself that, it's not that this car gave it to me, it already lived inside of me, it already existed, and this just was that little switch that just flipped for me, and I'm like, oh, I remember all of these qualities of myself.
And instead of looking at it from the outside, a picture of a car, you actually got to experience being inside the car, the feel, the touch, the sounds. And that's kind of how this visualization and manifestation process works, from the inside out, not just the inside of a vehicle, but from the inside feeling, consciousness from inside to put it forward into this manifest world.
That's a great perspective about mind mapping, because it was like my vision board in a tangible form. So it was like I was living my vision board. So I sat in that car I had it for 3 days. So I sat in that car each day, and I just focused on manifesting. So I just let myself feel all of that moving up in and through me. And it was like this tingly sensation. It was like I could feel the energy just vibrating within me, and just the ecstaticness and happiness and joy. And I just kept repeating, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, this, more of this, more of this. I'm so eager for more of this in my life. And and just really let myself stay focused and feeling that, because when you're working on manifesting greatness in your life, there's one thing about repeating affirmations and saying it, but to feel it is what draws it just instantly. And everything just started to unlock in my life from that moment. And now I'm seeing there's different ways where I'm just like unlocking my greatness, and I'm really stepped into my power.
So this is where it might get a little bit hard. You had, for most of your life, a setting of abundance, of confidence, of success. Can you share with us what happened?
I kind of backtrack a lot to see, when did I lose sight of that, of my value and my greatness? And it was when I met my son's father, my relationship with him. So in the beginning it was great, and then kind of once we moved in together, something just started beating me down, and I just had he's just kind of not an emotional person, and so I just never felt validated or heard. And I started to, because I didn't know how he felt about me, or just I couldn't read his mind. I'm very good at reading people, and he was very hard to read. And so I started to develop just thinking things were wrong with me. And so slowly, little by little, I just started to question who I was and myself and my greatness, and just started to feel like, really small. And his family would, because I was just very different and eccentric, and I started to have my spiritual awakening during that time. So I started to go down a different path, and nobody that was in my life at that time understood anything I was experiencing, didn't understand me. So I felt like this lone wolf, walking my own path and beating to my own drum. And it was a challenge, but I had to listen to my heart and follow it. And, but then when we split up, there wasn't, two sources of income, and so I was a single mom now, and all of a sudden I struggled for the first time, and I had health issues. That's really, at that time, I had almost died quite a few times because of health issues, and so I couldn't work a lot, and then I had to reach out a lot for help, and that was really humbling, because I didn't like having to acknowledge that I am struggling and that I need help because of the contrast of where I was before. So, that just kind of made me feel a lot of shame and guilt, and was really hard to swallow. But I had a lot of loving, supporting people who helped me understand that it's okay to reach out for help, and slowly started to rebuild. And once I moved here, I realized that it's not a location that is going to bring me that happiness. It's not anything like material. I was running from, because I started to feel like that deep dark depression again about a month after I moved here, and I'm like, what is this? I thought for sure I'd moved away from it, but I realized, okay, the common denominator is me. It lives inside of me. Whatever this deep dark stuff is, I'm gonna have to feel it. So I'm gonna have to live through it. And so I was able to take last year and just let all of that come up and surface. But slowly, as I moved through these things and just faced it and admitted to myself, areas in which I've neglected, and just things that I've done that I'm not so proud of, just started to really find a deep appreciation for myself and a love. And as I overcame those things and started to take care of things one by one, little by little, I started to gain confidence and momentum and see my value.
So you had to actually stop and look at the shadow. This is a common theme for many of my Buddha Brunch interviews. You had to actually acknowledge it, look it square in the face before you could move past it.
I did. I had to really just look it straight in the eye and say, all right, I'm not scared of you. And that took, because I had a lot of fear, so that took away a lot of fear. And I all of a sudden remembered that I'm supported and taken care of and provided for. I sat in prayer, in the prayer vigil at work, for months, and just prayed and asked for what is best for the highest good of all three of us. Not just me, not just my son, but for all three of us. I wanted the path of least resistance. So what is best for all three of us? And I love my son so much, but I had to look at all kinds of different options, and So I decided that, my son has reached out to me for many years that he's ready to have a deeper relationship with his father. For 2 weeks, we did that. And then, so I had all this time on my hands, and I realized that, just how much I did. I had like a perspective of how much I did. And then our son started to have some dental problems, and so I needed to take him. So we decided that he'll come back and stay with me until school ends, until we get this taken care of. So then all of a sudden I had mourned all of that and was ready and prepared for that experience, and then all of a sudden he comes back, and so now he's living back with me during the week. And all of a sudden I just realized, because I had all that freedom and that time, and then all of a sudden it was back to mom mode of go, 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 go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I understood what all I do. Because at first I thought I was just a terrible mom and couldn't keep anything organized and just couldn't do things right, and I just thought I was failing him. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm kind of a super mom. I do a lot. I do get a lot done. I provide so much for my son, and I am a huge value in his life, and I am amazing because there's not a lot of people that can do and handle all that I handle, and with such grace. And so it was that big perspective that just shifted me in the greatest way. And so then that Mustang experience was what shifted the confidence and brought that back. So yeah.
Great. Now you are back, the spark is renewed. What is next?
I'm getting back into acting and modeling, so I'm working with an agency right now that I'm going to start really honing in on and get my portfolio put together and just really be serious about it and dedicated. So I'm working on that, and then I'm stepping into some music, writing my own music and putting that out there. And then I'm going to be doing a lot of henna as well, belly blessings and henna, starting some photography. So I'll be doing some photography photo shoots, and also, I'd like to start speaking, teaching, and creating video content and blogs and writing, starting to write, finish up a book that I've been working on. Just really put myself out there fully.
So watch out, world. All right. Any closing thoughts?
I just, for anyone that's watching, I know there's a lot of us that are experiencing similar things that I've experienced, with your self-worth. And we all have lots of things that happen to us, but I just want everyone to, just never give up on yourself, continue to believe in yourself, no matter what anyone says, and don't believe it, because, when you finally realize that none of that stuff was true, and you see how much time you've, wasted, or you feel like you've wasted time, hiding from your truth and your power. And I just think it's really important to remain focused on your truth inside, listen to your heart, never lose sight of who you are amongst all of the chaos that you may experience.
This has been the Buddha Brunch with Heather Wilson. Hey, if you have enjoyed this program, find it valuable, please throw me some support on patreon.com/Ned Kelly. You can also find Buddha Brunch on Facebook, Ned Kelly Video on YouTube. Most of all, thank you very much, and peace.
Peace.